Alright, and here is the Legacy Evolution Core Class Grimlock out of his packaging. I gotta say, it looks pretty cool, especially for a core class. This will probably be the first one I'm looking at on the channel, so bear with me here. Looking straight at him, I do like. Okay. Looking at Grimlock here, we can see he's mostly based in gray plastic, but there is some very nice paint apps to kind of break that up. Here at the bottom of the legs, we have the sort of red striping. I know on the 86 version, there's more stripes, like there's a blue and a green stripe on his leg. That would have been pretty cool to see, but it is core class, and he's quite bigger than like other core class figures. He's quite tall, and because of that, he's quite holy, especially in the back. Um, but that's to be expected. This is kind of for transformation, so what can you do about that? I do love the sort of chest piece we have here for him in that nice gold with the Autobot signal slap bang right there. For the actual face of him, pretty sculpted, I gotta say. And I don't know if you can pick that up, but there is sort of this nice metallic blue for his sort of like eyes or visor over his eyes. On his arms here, we can see these end up turning into the dynamite legs. So they're kind of like spiky on the top, but they're gold, so that's nice. Other than that, that is it for the paint apps. He does come with one accessory, which is this blaster here. This ends up turning into his tail, if you can call it that. Oh, it fell over. And here we have the handle. It's pretty nicely sculpted. We got two sort of blasters there for his weapon. It does, again, kind of hole. There's a lot of holes within the figure. These two are tabs for when you transform him into his Dinobot mode. And this is what he looks like without the blaster in hand. Not too bad. Alright, and next we'll look at articulation. So for this figure, we'll start at the top of the head and move down. For the head, we have him just on a sort of swivel right here. So you can go all the way. Actually, yeah, you can go all the way. And you can see there's a little bit of a hole in his head, which is kind of unnerving. But he can't look up and down, it's just side to side. For his arms here, they can go up and down, up about that far. If you do move the back of his sort of back kibble, you can move it a little bit farther, kind of to there. And then you can kind of swing it around a little bit better. Doing up and down, basically to 90. He does not have an elbow joint, so it's kind of just like stiff moving it. And he does have wrist articulation because of transformation. He does have a waist articulation, which is quite cool. No, yeah, you can get it all the way. Oop. I'm Grimlock. What has happened? And then for his legs, you can go kick forwards that far, kick backwards about that far. He doesn't have a twist in the sort of ankle, but it is on a ball joint, so you can kind of get it to move around. Goes up about to 90. This is a part of the transformation, so that does help. And there is no ankle articulation, but it is kind of slightly curved, if you can't tell. So he has this really nice stance. Honestly, not too bad, but could be a little bit better, and we'll see. And some of the other core class figures like Mohawk will have a little bit better articulation. But this guy is a sort of transforms into a dynamite and then is part of a combiner, so I can kind of see where some of the things had to come down to. But yeah, let's get him into dynamite. So to start the transformation is pretty simple. This is a core class, so nothing too crazy. We'll spin him around to the back here, and we can see this is where the Dinobot head and its kind of arms reside. So we'll just basically lift this whole contraption up, basically up like that. We'll zoom out a little bit to help with that. And then we can kind of close both of these arms. There's two sort of like tabs right here that'll go into these two holes. So kind of just bring them close together and then tab in to those slots. And you can see here, we already have the kind of Dinobot head with the arms kind of already set up. You can already move the Dinobot head, but that is what it is. Then we'll take the two arms here, so we'll just bring them sort of so they're facing forwards like so. Then you'll take the arms and just rotate it so the points are pointing up now, and this is his legs. So now he's just got a long tail. Next we'll look at the legs, so we'll just clip those together. There's two like pretty big tabs here that'll connect into these two slots here and here. So just connect those two together. Get a nice little click, and then you'll basically take the legs, we'll flip them over. So this is how we have them. If you notice this sort of little connection joint here, we'll lift that. We don't need this. This is for the to transform them into the combiner. So we'll just slot this into this little cavity there to kind of fill that out, and that gets it out of the way of our legs, because what we're going to do is take this sort of little like nub here and place it into this slot just above the screw. So we'll take the whole legs, we'll condense them like so, kind of like fully like that, whatever. And then we'll take the rest of the legs and kind of complete that, and then we'll kind of slowly slot that in. There's two little cavities here to help go over those like two spots, whatever. And he's nearly done. We'll just have to take the blaster. So here it is, and we'll look. There is two kind of tabs here. They're not full like circles or whatever, but we'll take the two circle tabs that we have on the blaster, and we'll have the where you would have the him hold the blaster, that's going to face up, and we're just going to take those two tabs and plug it in to complete the tail look. And then there we have it. There's Grimlock transformed into his T-Rex mode. So here is Grimlock in his Dinobot mode, his T-Rex mode, and it is quite cool. He is quite bulky in terms because of the legs, kind of like fold up into him. But that's looking past that. It is a quite cool figure. We can see a little bit more of those paint apps. In the robot mode, we actually couldn't see this sort of gold like collar almost around his neck of the Dinobot, so that's cool to see. And then we can see the chest pieces here with the Autobot signal still. The legs, we can see better of those sort of what become the little like toes basically. And if you look behind, you can see the fists, but like when you're looking at the front, it's not too bad. His arms sadly don't move, like his little T-Rex arms are stationary. You can, I guess, kind of move it by moving like the whole like chest piece, but other than that, you can't move the arms, sorry. And the same goes for the T-Rex head. So all you can do is move it up and down. You can't actually like open the jaw or anything, which would be pretty cool, but maybe it's just too small to do so. When you're looking up into this like skull, you can see it's hollow, so I'm not sure if they would have had space to do that, but that is what it is. Looking at the back of the figure here, we can see those two stripes that made up the legs are now like on the back, and we can see the blaster kind of just on the end there. It is kind of sucks because looking at it, the blaster is like in this metallic silver, and then we have like the gray plastic kind of contrasting it. So when you're looking at it like together, it doesn't look like it goes together, but it helps fill out that tail. Looking at the legs, all we can do is move them forwards, up and down, and then like to the side. If you want them to do splits as a T-Rex, there you go. But same as in the robot mode, you can actually have like the legs bend at all, which is like a little bit of a missed opportunity, but not too bad. But yes, not too bad of a figure. Now we'll look at just some quick comparisons. I don't have too many figures right now, especially as we're just starting out, but I'll look at, I did bring out Mohawk a little bit earlier, so we'll see that next one. In terms of like size, they're pretty much the same height, but Bulkhead is a little bit more like bulky. Mohawk here does have a little bit more paint apps and like is like spindly and stuff like that, and there's a lot more articulation, which we'll see when we look at him more in depth. But in terms of like height, they're pretty much the same. He's probably just a little bit taller, but he would be taller because it was Mohawk. Next, I'll bring out Mohawk Rumble. This is from the Bumblebee. We'll be looking at him as well. he's quite tiny compared to Grimlock and Mohawk here. But as I don't have too many like things to compare, this is what we'll have to do with. Just for shiggles, we'll look at him next to a deluxe class box. So this is him next to the deluxe class. We can see he's about as tall as the O in Transformers, so that gives you some idea as how tall he is. He's quite bulky too, so hopefully I can get hold of some of those other Dinobot core class figures and we can look at them more as a whole and hopefully combine them into Volcanicus, but that is for another day. And just before we close the video, I just want to quickly show, I forgot to show the pamphlet here. So this is what he comes for with the transformation. You open it up and it's in this really nice green and like gray, so that looks pretty cool. But you open it up, this shows you how to transform. Transforms in 10 steps. Just shows you the different accessories and stuff too. And then if you flip it over, this will show you the what you need to do to combine it into, I guess he becomes the leg of Volcanicus. And I'll have to look, maybe it's not another Dinobot, but like a like deluxe class or something. I'm not sure like what this is, but there's two other ones, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, or maybe 5 and 6. I don't know. We'll have to look at how we can get the rest of these figures. Hopefully I can, and we can actually combine them. If not, then here's just a standalone video of Grimlock. But as probably one of my first videos, first reviews, hopefully you did enjoy. This figure in general, I think, is good overall. I would like maybe a little bit more paint apps and like somewhat better articulation, but as he's core class, we'll just have to subside with this. If you wanted something better, you can look at the 1986 CD series Grimlock. I know there's a bunch of different versions. I just have the like regular Studio Series release, which we could look at a later date. That is kind of buried right now, so I would have liked to have him like in the review, kind of comparing this Grimlock with the other Grimlock. But when we look at the 86 Grimlock, we'll definitely compare these two there. But if you did enjoy, please leave a like and join me on one of my next videos, probably Mohawk or Rumble. We'll be looking at Scorponok and some of the other figures soon enough. But as for this video, that is it. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you on the next video.